Alright, I'm going to reshoot this with my phone because for some reason my GoPro did not record any audio. Thus why you will see music in the rest of this video where usually you don't. This is my Tamiya CR-01. A lot of people think this is not a capable crawler, and as usual they're wrong. This thing is freaking awesome. I like it better than the SCX-10. I like it better than my AX-10. So I got the Toyota Landcruiser body, and these things are, they start out cheap, but when you start modifying them, they get really expensive. Depending on what model you get, they run between $250 for like the cheapest one, which is the Unimog, up to $500. So I'm going to go ahead and pop off the body here. I'll take you on a little tour of the inside of it. Now, most of the stuff on this is plastic when you get it. This one has been fully upgraded with aluminum parts and everything. I would say that in total, this thing would probably cost about $800, which is ridiculous considering if you watched some of my other videos that I said I was selling off a bunch of the old stuff. It was getting hard to find parts for, and I traded this straight up without any electronics for my Lucy Mini T Desert truck. So show you what's unique about this here first is the shock setup, the cantilever setup. You can see here that the springs and the shocks are completely separate, and that's because there's this little pivot mount here that they use to move up and down in order for the springs and the shocks to work independently. This is a pretty unique setup to this truck, and quite frankly is amazing. It works very, very well. The suspension is not too soft, not too firm. You can swap out springs easily on it. It is just a good setup. If there's one knock to this, I would say, is that people think it's a little monster truckish, and they may be a little right in that aspect. I think you could easily turn this into a monster truck by just throwing on some clodbuster tires and a hotter motor, and maybe adding the four-wheel steering on, which I'll get to in a second. Now, if we look at this here, you can see that the frame rails are metal, the support's metal, the vent links here are metal, the drive shaft is metal, the hubs are metal, everything except for the axle housings and the cantilevers and the bumpers on this is metal. Even the electronics tray in here is metal. As far as my setup on this, what I've got in here is I've got a HobbyWing brushless waterproof ESC. I don't remember if this is, actually I see the box right over here. It's the 1060. I've got a Holmes motor in here, 35 turn. Gives you a good combination of wheel spin and power. I could go to a 55 or a 45, but then I'd probably have to go to a 3S battery. In there. Sunfounder, PoweHD, they're the same thing. And the tires on here are GMade. Let's see here, GMade MT 202, which means 2202, which means it's a 2.2 tire. One thing I will talk about real quick is this battery that I got. This is a 5200 milliamp hour 50C battery. I got it for like $15 on Amazon, and it has been great. Easily as good as a lot of my, $40, $50 SMC batteries. Even better in some respects, because if you look at this balance plug here, hopefully it will focus in on it. So you can see that it's got this extra sleeving on this balance plug, which makes it a lot more robust. Even the wires are actually thicker than what I'm used to, even on the SMC batteries. The wires here are really flexible and thick. Even the Dean's connector, I bought a whole bag of Dean's connectors, and they're kind of tight to get on and off. I have to put like lithium grease on it or something to make it not so hard. These are just super smooth. Pulls right off, real easy, real quick. No muss, no fuss. Another unique thing to me that I wanted to mention is that if you look here, it's probably easier to see on the back because I don't have a servo in there yet. But if you look right here, you see that little sort of rusty hex screw right there. Right there, kind of in the middle by itself. Try to move back so it could focus better. Right there, right to the left of the pumpkin. You stick a hex driver in there and spin it clockwise to lock the diffs, counterclockwise to unlock the diffs. So even though you can't do it from the transmitter like the high-end TRX4, you can still lock and unlock the diffs pretty easy on this thing. Now you'll notice that there is a servo tray in the back here with no servo in it, and that's because it's got a 4-wheel steering kit right here that I have yet to put on it, which probably eventually will, because the biggest knock on this thing probably is that the turning radius isn't that great on it. So 4-wheel steering will help out with that, and I will be adding that here sooner or later. Plan on adding a roof rack and some brush guard lights to it as well too, and just give it a whole cool setup. So that's really the quick overview of the Tamiya here. So you're talking like an $800 truck here by the time you're talking about the old, considering what you paid for it. This is the Landcruiser version, which, don't pay, an extra $200 just for the Landcruiser body. Buy the Unimog and then get whatever body you want for it. The Unimog is the cheapest, so we'll say $250 by the time you add in all of the aluminum stuff on it and the tires and everything. You're probably talking, a $700 truck that I got for trading a extended chassis Mini T, pretty much is what it was. So I am super pleased, and I actually really, really like this truck a lot. So it's time to show some running video.